How's it going, everyone? We're just going to look at a really simple setup today. What we're going to be looking at is going to be in a 5-minute chart, and we're going to be looking to have no more than 4 points against us in this really systematic trade setup. So essentially, we want to use them very very systematically and directional. So we want to see, for example, if we're looking for a buy, we want to see these two lines pointed up, these two lines pointed up. We want to see these two lines pointed up with green on top. We want to see these two lines pointed up with green on top. Thick orange and thin orange up, pointed up, and blue dotted and thick blue pointed down. That would be having all points in our favor. So we want to have no more than 4 of those saying the opposite. If we're looking for a sell, we want to see that the majors and minors are then pointed down, all 4 of those lines pointed down, thick orange down, thin orange down, thick blue up, blue dotted up, because those are inverse, and pressure on the 1 minute, green and red pointed down with green on bottom, pressure here, green on bottom and both of them pointed down, and then the candle, I didn't mention this in the first one, but the candle also being below when we're selling, below these lines, or if we're buying, we want them to be above those lines, kind of like they are right now. So we're going to wait for that setup. We're just going to take an hour and look over some of these trade setups, see what we can do within the next hour. Now, we will be recording the profit and loss in pips because we don't make any income claims. We'll just show you the pips that we would have garnered, and then at the end we'll kind of break that down and say, okay, if this was your account balance based on the risk, reward, and win percentage, this is what your lot size would be expected to be, and based on the amount of pips that we garnered, this is what your profit would be. So we'll look at that at the end and look at some theoreticals there. So right now, if we're counting out where we have 2 minutes and 25 seconds left in this candle, if we were looking for, because these lines are above the pressure lines here in the clean pressure chart on the 1 minute, looks like it's coming down now. So we'd want this candle to be below those lines, right? And we'd want for the green and red on this chart to be pointed down. And we want thick orange down, thin orange down, thick blue up, blue dotted down, or rather up, and major minor pointed down, and then green and red pointed down with green on bottom here as well. So it looks like we're getting pretty close. We got about 1 minute and 46 seconds. So we do have this now. We have candlestick below, green on bottom, pointed down, and red pointed down, thick orange down, blue dotted is pointed down, and thin orange is pointed sideways, so that's 2 against. Green is on top, so that's 3 against, and they're pointed up, so that's 4. So we have too many. We actually have about 5 against right now. So let's wait a little bit, see if this improves for us, and if it gives us a couple extra points before the end of this 1 minute and 13 seconds, then we'll go ahead and press the sell button. We're going to be taking a 3 pip take profit and a 6 pip stop loss. So stop loss is 6. Take profit is 3, so that's a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. In order for that to be successful, we'd obviously have to hit that trade 70% of the time or better. This one tests at about 80 plus, so we should be good there. So we still have thin orange pointed up, blue dotted kind of pointed down. We have everything else that looks good except for pressure here as well. So we got about 40 seconds. Let's see if we can improve in the next 40 seconds, and then we'll press that sell button. So 34 seconds, 30 seconds, wait for that. Okay, thin orange is pointed down now. So we got an extra point back there. Blue dotted is still pointed down, so that one's still against us. Pressure looks like it's starting to improve and point down, which will give us another point. So I think we're going to go ahead and take this one if things remain this way in the next 12 seconds. So we're waiting for that. 7, 6, yep. Green is now pointed down. We have enough. Let's go ahead and take the sell here in 1 second, right there. And you'll see it right there. That's our entry, this line right here. That's our stop loss at 6 pips away, and our take profit is down here for 3 pips. So this, again, is a 2-to-1. We're risking twice as much then we're taking profit. And the only reason we can do that is because we can win this trade. We back tested and we know that we win 80+% of the time. So that is a risk to reward ratio with a win percentage that is profitable. But you can see as it oscillates between above and below this line right here, our profit loss fluctuates, obviously, right? Now, we haven't lost or won anything until it crosses that stop loss line above us or the take profit line below us, which it looks like it's powering towards. Good. So good, we got that. That went through. You can see there we got 3 pips. It looks like 30, but that's 30 micro pips, so it's actually 3 regular pips. Okay, so let's look at this next one and let's start counting out our points to see if we have what we need. So do we have 4 against us? So we have all 4 here in favor, right? Thick, thin orange up, blue dotted up, thick and thin orange down. So that's good for a sell. Major, minor are down right here, so that's good for a sell. We don't have any points against us there. Red is pointed up, so that's 1 against. Green is on bottom and pointed down, so that's good. And over here in the pressure lines, green is on bottom. Both of those are pointed down, and the candles are below these lines. So we have everything we need there. We only have, it looks like, 1 point against us with that pressure on the 5-minute, the red pressure line pointed up. So 1 against us is just fine. We don't want to have 4 or more against us. So we'll wait for 3 minutes and 18 seconds. And when that time expires, if everything remains that way, we'll go ahead and take another short or sell trade for 3 pips with a 6 pip stop loss. So versus trying to count out all the other points, we just want to count which ones are against us. It's simpler, it's faster. So we just count, do we have 4 points that are against us? And if we do have 4 or more, then we don't take it. Otherwise, we go ahead and enter that trade. So pretty simple setup. It does take a small knowledge of how the indicators work at their base level, which is very directional, the direction they point, but they also work very illogical in instances where sometimes they're pointed up and they're telling us to sell, or they're pointed down and they're telling us to buy. But that's a lot more advanced. We just want to focus on something that would illustrate all of the indicators, the TNTs, major, minor, M pressure, and then a clean pressure chart, and how we would use them in concert with each other. That's much more directional and something that's easier to wrap your mind around. About 48 seconds, everything still looks good. This is not boding well for us, right? Because now we're losing a couple points there. We have 1 point against us with the red pressure down here. We have another point because green is now on top and it's sideways, so that's 2 points, right? Because it's not pointed down and it's on top of red. So that's 3 total. Red pressure, green pressure giving us -2 right there with 3, and the candlestick is 4. So that nullifies that setup. Unfortunately, we're not going to take that one. It looks like we got about 15 seconds, so unless something dramatic happens here in the next 10 seconds, we're not going to take this next trade here. We're going to wait for the next setup. So we got about a minute left. We've got enough points here. We've got major, minor pointed down, pressure down, green on bottom, pressure down, green on bottom, candle on bottom. Thick orange is -1, and blue, thick blue is -1. So we're only -2 points here. If we stay relatively close here, then we can go ahead and take that sell, that short trade. We only have about -2. Thin orange is kind of flattening out too, so that would give us -3. Come on. Yep, we're looking good. I'm going to get ready to place this sell trade. So we got about 8 seconds. Things are looking good. 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go for it. So now we're in the sell trade. So you can see, if we go back here, we can see that we had -1 with the thick orange because it was flat, and the blue, thick blue, because it was pointed down when it should be pointed up for a short. Major, minor pointed down, pressure down, green on bottom, that's good. Green on bottom, pressure down, and the candlestick is below those. So we went ahead and entered the short or the sell trade there. So we're taking a little bit of heat, not much. We're going the up direction here. It's only gone about 1.4 pips. against us thus far. That's our entry. This red line right here is our entry. This is our stop loss, and our take profit is somewhere down there, and it'll come into range if and when we start heading to the sell side here. Okay, we got about 1 minute and 50 seconds. We've got point against us, green's on top. They're both pointed down, so that's good. These are both pointed down, so that's good. We got 2 points against us and 3 points with the thick blue. So if we don't get any more points against us, we could potentially take another short. And just the nick of time, come on, get out. Oh, here I am looking at this line, and that's not the line I should be looking at. It's this one down here. Here I'm thinking this is the line for profit. That's our entry. So this is our take profit line. Things are still looking good for another sell, and that's going in the direction that we want it to go in. We've got about 50 seconds. You see we've got all the necessary points. We've got a point against us with minors. Pressure's down, green on bottom. Green's barely on bottom right there. Pressure's down. We've got thick orange, thin orange, blue dotted in our favor. Thick blue is against us, so it's another point against us. But we don't have 4 against us, so we should be good to place another sell trade here. And just waiting for 28 seconds. And we'll go ahead and press that sell button unless something dramatically changes, which seems to be the tempo of today's trading, but this looks good. This looks like it's going to be all right. 10 seconds. Everything looks good still. We haven't lost any points. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So there's our next trade. Still waiting for that other trade to fill. Finally, okay. So we got our second trade to fill. Our third trade is still active. So you can see we got 6 pips there. It looks like 60, but we know it's 6. 6 pips. We're trucking towards our next take profit. All right, 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Yes. All right, got that third one. Good. So that took less than 5 minutes on that one. Awesome. We like when that happens, right? Okay, looking good. We got about 55 seconds. We've got 1 point against us in blue, thick blue, because that's pointed up, and we'd be looking for long theoretically. Thin orange is kind of down, so that's 2 points against us, and pressure's pointed down, so that's 4. But let's see if we improve in the next 30 seconds. So we just got to make up one of those points. Again, it's coming down to the wire. Usually we've got plenty of time, but today it's just messing with us. So we got 20 seconds. We need to make up a point. We've got, there we go. Come on, get up there. Let's just hover over this just in case we got a buy. Okay, so it's playing with us. We got 8 seconds. There we go. There we go. 7, 6. Stay like that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right. Okay, so let's go back and look at that real quick while we're waiting for that. We can see that green was on top there, but they were pointed down, so that's 2 points against. And thick blue was up, so that's 3 points against, but everything else was good. Green and red are pointed up, candle was above, so everything else was good. So we entered the trade. Here's our entry right here, our stop loss, and our take profit. Come on, get up there. Yes, all right. So we got out of that one. That's good because we might have another one setting up here. We got about 30 seconds. Everything looks good. Pressure's up on the 5-minute. Green is on top. Major, minor pointed up. Thick and thin orange are up. Blue dotted is down, which is good. Thick blue is up, which is 1 point against. Green is now on top here, and they're both pointed up. So we only have 1 point against us here. So we could finish off strong here. That's good. So 17 seconds. We're going to get ready to press that buy button. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right. This will be the last trade of the day, guys. And you can see here's our entry. Here is our take profit. Here's our stop loss. We're looking for a buy. We want to go up. A little bit more. Come on, get it. Come on, get in there. All right, awesome. Okay, that's awesome. And right with about 2 minutes to spare. Awesome. All right, guys, so took about 5 trades. We took 5 trades because it's a 15 pip profit. So let's break this down really quickly. And let's look at what that would look like in a live account. So we have a trade that we can take a 6 pip stop loss and a 3 pip take profit, which is a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, and we can win it about 80+% of the time. So let's just use 80% win rate, and then we'll assign a 2% risk. Because that's a 2-to-1 with 80%, that's solid. We could even do 3%, but let's just be conservative. Let's say 2% risk, because we may have instances, and you can see that we were in trades 2 at a time at one point. So let's keep it at 2, because if we had 2 of those at 2%, that would be 4%. And again, we don't want to go beyond 5%. So that, we'll say 2% risk. And let's just say that, so let's look at a couple of scenarios. Let's say a $10,000 account balance. And 2% of that would be $200. So you'd be risking $200. And let's just say something smaller, like a $2,000 account balance. And then, and so that would be 20 bucks, right? And then let's do something bigger. So let's just say, because we max fund our traders with 100,000. So let's say 100,000 max funded account. And so that would be $2,000, right? Risk. Okay, so if we were trading this with a $100,000 account, and we could, and because they were all winners, obviously it would compound and the number would be larger. In other words, if I took a trade, my first trade would have given me profit, which would increase my account balance, so 2% of my new account balance would be a larger number, so on and so forth, for 5 trades, right? But let's just look at it straight across as if we just used a 2% risk on our starting balance of the day, which in this case, we're going to say 100,000, 10,000, and 2,000. If we took $2,000, and that's what we're risking in 6 pips, so we would just say, okay, 2,000 divided by 6 is going to be about $333.33 per pip, right? Which is going to be a lot size of about 33.33. Okay, so our lot size would be 33.33. So that would be $333.33, right? Here, and that's after 6 pips, it would equal 2,000, right? So the lot size, each pip, $333, right? For 6 pips is going to be just under 2,000. And then for 200, it's going to be 3.33, right? 3.33, if I'm not mistaken. And then this would be 0.33. Let's just do the math there. So $3.30, $3.30 times 6 equals about 20 bucks, just under. And then $30.33 times 6 would be actually a little bit more. We could probably do 3. Let's go. Let's just do it here. Let's go 200 divided by 6 and it would be, that's about as close as it's going to allow us to get. I mean, we could probably increase that. We could definitely increase those behind the decimal, take it closer to 200, but let's just leave it at that so it looks the same, relatively the same, right? So if we are risking $2,000 with a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, then our profit would be 1,000, right, per trade. Here would be 100 per trade, and here would be 10 per trade, $10 per trade, right? So those would be our profit. Now, if we took our profit and we times it by the amount of trades that we took, in this case 5 trades, then this would equal 5,000, this would equal 500, and this would equal 50, right? And if we took that straight across, obviously that would be a 5% increase on the day. So we would have made a 5% increase on the day. Now, we know that these numbers would be larger, right? Because our first trade would have been 1,000. So now our account balance is 101,000, right? Or 10,100, or 2,010, right? $2,010. So each additional trade, because we had 5 in a row, would be worth more, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to just look at very conservative numbers. And that being the case, that's a 5% increase on the day, and it took an hour right before your eyes, right? Do you have an hour to spare? Do you have an hour that you can dedicate to something like this? If you feel like it's something that piques your intrigue, that you're interested in, reach out to us. Go to daytradesmart.com and request some more information. You can also just call us, 801-701-8875, and someone will help you immediately. Otherwise, go to daytradesmart.com, right? Call us, or you can also email us, info@daytradesmart.com. All right, guys, I appreciate you guys joining us for this quick demonstration, and we hope to hear from you guys. Look forward to talking with you. Have a good day.